Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Dinar Update channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're always in the loop with the latest updates on global news, finance, and geopolitics. Today we've got some really important and exciting topics to dive into, including developments in Iraq's energy independence and some behind-the-scenes action with the World Bank and IMF. So, let's jump right in. First, let's talk about some major geopolitical news coming out of Iraq. As many of you know, Iraq has been heavily reliant on Iran for energy imports, particularly gas and electricity. This relationship has been a source of tension, not only for Iraq's own sovereignty, but for the broader Middle East region. So, the big question is, what's being done about it? Well, former President Trump made a pivotal decision to cut off Iraq's ability to import gas and electricity from Iran. This move is significant because it could help Iraq break free from Iran's influence, and, more importantly, move toward becoming self-sufficient when it comes to energy. Iraq has been making strides to develop its own natural gas resources, focusing on building out its domestic gas facilities. They've been working on scaling up their production and making sure they have enough capacity to meet their own energy needs. But here's the thing, this process is not going to happen overnight. As much as Iraq wants to become fully independent, the country still has a long way to go before it's truly self-sufficient in energy. They're going to need some help, especially in the short term, because rebuilding infrastructure takes time, and energy demand is only growing. This is where the United States steps in. The U.S. has already begun providing support to Iraq to help it modernize and rebuild its electricity infrastructure. In fact, the U.S. has been involved in a long-term plan to help Iraq not just develop its energy resources, but also rebuild key parts of its infrastructure, including power plants, transmission lines, and distribution networks. The U.S. is bringing in advanced technology and expertise to help Iraq generate more electricity from its own sources. This includes building out solar power, improving energy storage, and creating systems that are more resilient to any future disruptions. By doing this, the U.S. isn't just helping Iraq become self-reliant, it's also helping stabilize the region. This infrastructure support could have a ripple effect. A stable, energy-independent Iraq means the country will be less reliant on external actors like Iran, reducing the influence that Iran has in Iraq's internal affairs. And we all know that stability in Iraq is crucial for the broader Middle East peace process. The sooner Iraq can transition away from Iranian energy imports, the more sovereignty it will regain, and that will lead to greater political and economic stability. Alright, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about the financial side of things. The World Bank and IMF are two massive institutions that have been at the center of global economic and financial decisions for decades. But recently, we've been hearing some pretty groundbreaking information that could change the global financial landscape as we know it. Intel guru Bruce, a well-known financial analyst, shared some incredible updates with his followers. According to Bruce, these two organizations, the World Bank and IMF, have been key players in holding up significant financial changes that many of us have been waiting for. But here's the twist, Bruce believes that the World Bank and IMF are currently in the process of being dismantled, and we're already 95% of the way there. Now, this is huge. Why would the IMF and World Bank be dismantled, you might ask? Well, it's believed that these institutions have been slowing down progress on important global financial shifts. The idea is that their structures and policies have been holding back the changes that are necessary to allow countries like Iraq and others to break free from financial dependency and achieve greater economic sovereignty. So, how does this dismantling play into Iraq's future? Well, if these financial institutions are being restructured or phased out, the result could be a shift in how countries like Iraq deal with global debt, loans, and financial aid. Without the constraints of the IMF and World Bank, Iraq and other nations could have more flexibility to create their own economic systems, attract more foreign investment, and reduce their reliance on global financial institutions that might not always have their best interests at heart. Bruce believes that as these changes unfold, we could see a major global financial reset. The theory is that these shifts could be the catalyst for new currency systems, a more decentralized financial structure, and even new ways that countries engage in trade. It could lead to a more level playing field for nations that have been historically marginalized by the policies of the IMF and World Bank. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Bruce believes that if all goes according to plan, we could see notifications about these changes over the weekend. Yes, you heard that right. We could be looking at a major update by Saturday or Sunday, with the possibility that the changes will be in full effect by early next week. For Iraq, the immediate future looks a lot more promising. With the U.S. helping them develop their energy independence and reduce reliance on Iran, Iraq could see a boost in its political sovereignty and economic growth. This could lead to a more stable and prosperous Iraq, which is great for the country and for global peace. On the financial front, the dismantling of the IMF and World Bank could be a game changer, not just for Iraq, but for the entire global financial system. If these institutions are indeed being restructured, we could be on the brink of a new era of financial freedom and independence for nations around the world. So, what should we expect next? If the changes with the IMF and World Bank are true, we could be witnessing a complete shift in the global financial order. And if Iraq can fully transition to energy independence, that's going to be a huge win for the country, the US, and the Middle East as a whole. But one thing's for sure, this is a very exciting time in geopolitics, and we'll be keeping a close eye on all these developments as they unfold. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. What do you think about the US's role in Iraq's energy independence? How do you feel about the potential dismantling of the IMF and World Bank? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more updates on these topics and others. I'll keep you informed as new details come to light. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.